Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 7th of November. This is for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to give you an overview of what we can all expect collectively, but please stay with me. I will then dive deep to give you in forensic detail each of the signs from Aries through to Pisces and the key influences for each of those. Now, this week sees on Tuesday a total lunar eclipse, an event which is going to provide an influence for the next 6 months. Now, the sign of Taurus where this occurs is actually where the moon is rather happy. It's exalted in the sign of Taurus, so it's its second favourite location after being domiciled in the sign of Cancer, but it's very close to the planet of disruption, Uranus. And if you recall, over the last couple of years, Uranus and the planet of restriction, Saturn, in the sign of the collective, Aquarius, have off and on been grating in an attritional and stressful right angle called a square. Now that threads its way through this event. Now, we also have close to the Moon and Uranus the North Node, a very significant point in terms of our collective destiny. But on the other side of the heavens, we have the Sun, Mercury and Venus all in Scorpio. The significance of the cluster in Taurus, the cluster in Scorpio and the position of Saturn is they're all in fixed signs. Fixed signs prefer continuity. They're happier with knowing how things are, maintaining a degree of stability. So Uranus is pushing us to be more outspoken about our rights in terms of our self-worth. So we're seeing a lot of protest and dissent, but also we're seeing the cost of living crisis, and a lot of that is because the second house of Taurus governs food and food distribution. Now obviously we also have the sign of Taurus being an earth sign, very much about the environment and the cost of utilities to heat our homes, to cook with, to light our homes as well. All these are hot topics. So the way people are relating to the right angle between Uranus and Saturn, and have been over the last couple of years, whether it's big government, big business, individuals, collective associations, such as citizens, finding an outlet through social media, or perhaps union output, is that everybody has a different take on how they want changes to occur. And it's obvious that some kind of reset is occurring, and we need to try to adapt to deal with this, and it's really not easy. Now, concurrent to this, the two rulers of the sign of Scorpio are in conflict, Mars and Pluto. So Pluto's in the part of the horoscope that's to do with wanting to maintain the old world order, so big government, big business. But Mars is in the part of the zodiac which is to do with how we think and articulate our ideas, but it's now in retrograde. But they're not on good terms. So this adds to the strident mix that's bubbling up. Also, Mars is in a right angle to Neptune, the planet of dreams and the ephemeral world. And this is creating a lot of illusions, a lot of dishonesty, quite honestly. And we're finding that more and more stories about corruption and dishonesty, particularly around money and people looking out for their friends when they have influence, or we're also seeing sexual impropriety. A lot of stories are coming to the open. So all of this is going to be quite a feature over the next 6 months. But please stay with me as I decipher all of this for each of your 12 zodiac signs. But if you would like to understand what year 2023 will hold for you as an individual based on Sirius astrology, and rise above your zodiac forecast, if you give me 3 pieces of personal birth data of time, date and place of birth, I can produce your forecast for next year. And in my special package, you get the rest of this year free, and also your life roadmap, your character analysis, which helps you to understand some of the patterns that have repeated themselves, perhaps more difficult energies, but also help you to have greater understanding of your opportunities. And there's 30% off. Please see the link below. Finally, if you're new to my channel, thank you so much for joining me. I'd love it if you would subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. If you're an ongoing viewer, thank you so much for all your support. So Cancer, your week commencing the 7th of November forecast stirs up a lot of issues, I think, about self-expression, the people you hang out with, where you have social interaction, perhaps also about your longer term future, which, to be honest, could feel a bit unsettled. The moon obviously is about the home. Uranus being so close to the moon on a total lunar eclipse means that if you're not quite sure of where you're living at the present time, and the 11th house is very much about the future, then maybe this is an area that you're thinking actively of this week. And the cluster of Mercury, the Sun and Venus in your 5th house is actually really positive. It's just that Saturn obviously is having a very big impact. And that's in the part of your situation about the money. So if whatever you want to do, whether it's to explore your creativity, your talents, your self-expression, or you are thinking more about your social world or about your love life, there just seems to be a restlessness at the moment about what the future may hold, and a bit of limitation about the finances. And of course, collectively, that's something that we're all being afflicted by. Now, of course, Mars has slammed on the brakes in the complex 12th house. So there may be things from the past that still are calling out for your attention. The square with Neptune can amplify some psychological energies that remain active within you. Also, Mars and Pluto, of course, are in that very difficult quincunx. So around a relationship situation, I feel that if you're not gaining the kind of satisfaction and pleasure and stimulation, there's not enough fun and levity in your world. I feel that those are the things you're trying to decipher, because there is the potential here to actually try to hope and set your intentions for something better. But it just may be that your current circumstances, either to do with very, very deeply held emotional issues from the past, or to do with where you're very invested with situations at the present, which you may feel limit your opportunities for freedom, that can all make you feel very penned in. How do we deal with this? Well, your sign is intrinsically, of course, about your environment. It's about feeling secure and safe and wanting to have a peace and tranquility. But all these energies are kind of saying that I feel that you're needing more than you're getting at the present time, potentially. And if you're feeling trapped into a current situation, that can feel a little bit scary. But just know that it may seem a long way away, but on the 25th of March next year, well, Mars is going to be powering into your sign. But by that time, you will have worked your way through quite a lot of latency from the past, and it's going to be really cathartic as you emerge from Mars's 12th house transit. Remember, Mars only goes retrograde every couple of years, and it just so happens for you, this is in your 12th house. So one of the trickier transitions of all the zodiac signs or ascendants, but there is sparkle here as well. So it's just trying to work within your current circumstances to create a greater sense of possibility, of excitement, and a feeling that life can become much more vital and in the moment.